Hello, people of YouTube. I'm here streaming with my chat, going absolutely nowhere. Because not enough are you here. Head over to Twitch. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the new anthologies that are coming to Arena. And I guess we're actually going to start this first with the Lord of the Rings set. Justin, what does this have to do with the new anthologies? I'm glad you asked. The Lord of the Rings set should not have come to Arena. And here's why. It is bad for the game. Because the cards in the Lord of the Rings set cannot be used in Standard. Now, I don't play Standard, right? So I don't technically care. But the vast majority of the cards in the Lord of the Rings set, in my opinion at least, aren't good enough to see play in Historic. Sure, maybe Brawl, I don't care. Additionally, the cards that are good enough are annoying as hell. But Wizards has decided that the Lord of the Rings cards take up reward slots. Additionally, the Lord of the Rings set has its own mastery tree, which again gives Lord of the Rings cards, which is like bleh. But what that means, right, is that, and again, this is something that you can choose to do, choose to buy, but if you are used to getting the mastery sets, right, and you get this mastery set, it's not a zero amount of dollars. And I don't remember off the top of my head how advertised it was that the Lord of the Rings product was not for Standard. But if you're an Arena player who pretty much plays only Arena, you play Standard, right? Because the Wizard says that that's the majority of Arena players or Standard players. This is, again, all together. And you're used to getting the mastery sets, and then you get this mastery set, and maybe you buy like one of the big bundles of packs, right? Maybe the 45 pack, something like that, right? A large number of packs. You've wasted your gold. You've wasted your gems. You've wasted your actual real world dollars on cards that are not going to matter to you at all. On cards where if you do end up playing Historic or Historic Brawl, there are going to be some cards that are good, and the vast majority of them are trash. They're common and uncommon trash. Because Lord of the Rings, first and foremost, is a draft set. It feels fun to draft from what I recall. And second, I guess a commander set, but again, I don't care. I'm not putting too much credence in that. Because Wizards doesn't believe the Historic Brawl or Historic are very widely played on Arena. The data that they provide us is that Standard is far and away the most played format on Arena. Putting Lord of the Rings on there was a mistake. If that's the case, which I probably think it is. It's a mistake because it's essentially a Historic product. Because I don't think it's going to actually. I can. Boop, boop. Nope, not legal in Explorer, right? Wait, it's illegal in Al. Okay, I have to modify what I was saying. It's legal in Alchemy. Again, Standard is the most widely played. Alchemy is not. People hate Alchemy. This makes it worse. Oh, wow. Wow, I wonder if that was on purpose. Because again, as I said, like the people who play Standard, right? Who, maybe every set they get the Mastery Pass, which I don't like. The Mastery Passes generally are fine value from like like everything that you get from them. If you play the cards that come in the packs. If you're a Standard player and you didn't realize that Lord of the Rings, 9 Standard, you wasted money, gems, coins. It's not legal in normal Brawl. No one plays it. No one cares. It's illegal in Historic Brawl. But again, there are some cards that are, good there. Some cards that just aren't. They just don't matter. They're legal in Historic. That's the only other place that they are legal in. The cards are either dummy good or trash. it feels like there's very, very little in between. And I guess briefly, I'll talk about this. Like, if they wanted to add some fun stuff to Historic Brawl, they should have added the Commander product instead. The Elf Scry decks are neat in Historic Brawl. Right, they do add some stuff to Historic Brawl, but on the basis that, these cards are not legal in Standard specifically, it's annoying. So what I'm getting to here is, these cards are meant to be for Alchemy, sure, I guess, whatever, but no one cares about that in format. No one cares. So I'm sure some people care. No one cares. Okay. So it's for Historic. Except it isn't. The Anthologies are for Historic. And for Explorer. Now, the Historic Anthologies essentially is Wizards just being like, we're going to throw some cards into Historic because Historic is our super true non-rotating format. It's the Arena Legacy format. We can essentially put whatever we want in there, and we can make it fun, right? Whatever. Cool, fine, cool. It has been doing that, in my opinion, for the most part. Explorer is supposed to be a bridge to Pioneer on Arena. Wizards is using third-rate building material at best. They're using child labor and third-rate building material. They're not building this bridge up to code at all. They have said the purpose of the Explorer Anthologies is to get chunks of competitive Pioneer decks onto Arena. Now, for what it's worth, competitive Pioneer deck might not be the top 10, top 20 decks, right? You probably see some fringe cards. However, all of these Anthology slots are limited. And I'm going to get to individual pieces as well. All of these slots are incredibly limited. So every card in here should be played in a deck. But not only that, you can't have a card come to Arena for Explorer, because it's a Pioneer deck, and not provide the cards necessary for that deck. If you're going to include pieces of a combo deck onto Arena, put them in at the same fucking time. I don't play Pioneer. I know many people who do, and I know many people who play Explorer because of the fact that they have potential access, or, semi-access to Pioneer. So let's go ahead and look at some of the most used decks here, shall we? Just these top 10. The Rakdos deck. Let's see, we got a lot of this stuff that's already on Arena. Sure, whatever. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're really missing all that much. Yeah, cool. Sure, whatever. That's fine. Hey, look, the Nykthos Green deck. We have a version of this deck already on Arena, essentially. Is it missing anything, really? No, not really. We have Nykthos, we got that. Yeah, it's not really missing much. Rakdos Sec. Again, I'm pretty certain that we have the vast majority of this on Arena. Wow, look at that. We totally do, because the most recent sets have been correct. Mono White. No, we don't have Kithian. But, for the most part, we got these cards. Yeah. Azorius Control. I frankly just straight up don't care about Azorius Control. Control decks, I feel like more than some other decks, control decks can have a little bit more leeway with their cards, because essentially they're just answers, right? Like, we don't have Detention Sphere. This deck only plays one. You can get away with getting side answers, essentially. Grace Fang, blah blah blah. Look, I don't care. The main things I'm here for is this Lotus Field combo, aka Hidden Strings. Now we'll okay. We got stuff, right? We got some stuff. Did this even come back? I don't think it did. Vizier of Tumbling Sands. Oops. Viz. Okay, it did come back in Amonkhet Remastered, but we'll get to something that didn't. That's annoying. So the deck revolves around having a Lotus Field and hidden strings. So you can tap and untap shit. And you can do cool things to make a bunch of mana and do dumb stuff. Right? Where you play Behold the Multiverse, Emerge, and Ultimatum. All that nonsense. They gave us Sylvan Scrying. Notably, the card that the deck is named after, they did not give us. They didn't give Hidden Strings. You need the strings. Did they not give us Behold the Beyond either? Whoops. Nope. Wizards has been fucking Arena. And this is one of the ways. This is why I've always said I hated the way they do remasters. I don't have Gravecrawler for my zombie deck. I remember talking about this card specifically, saying I don't want it. People commented on that video saying Behold the Beyond is played in some Pioneer decks, which means it would be good in Explorer. However, Wizards doesn't give us all the fucking cards. From sets, the reason I'm the most angry about specifically the Innistrad sets, though, is because that was the fucking alpha of Arena. Those cards existed in the game. They exist in the game. But Wizards seems to just like just decide that, hey, you know what? We could release this card, which is, sees play. And even if it doesn't see competitive play, people like it. Instead, we're just not going to, because we have this weird idea that we need to make a great limited environment. Wizards, your own data shows that your limited environments are not played as much as standard, which these things don't technically matter to. But if you're going to pretend to care about Explorer and Historic, you should not be printing anthologies without all of the cards. No reason. And again, we'll come back to that. So this we didn't get. This I don't think is the deck. No, I don't think I have the deck here for it. But there's also, I think it was Court of Calling, and remember, I don't play Pioneer. This is only what I've witnessed, right? There's a deck, if I recall correctly, for World Spine Worm and Court of Calling that whatever deck uses that, we didn't get a piece of. Additionally, I've seen so many people talk about the fact that they didn't have access to, I think it was Bring to Light? I want to say it was Bring to Light. And, goodness, I'm forgetting now. And another, essentially, Wizards is putting in cards that people aren't going to play. Xenagos and Worm go together. Oh, okay, sorry. Now, for what it's worth, there aren't, in my opinion, a lot of these cards are still reasonable to have, right? Sylvan Scrying is a bit strange because it, it doesn't have the card that super matters. But then we see this weird thing. This weird thing right here. A Quarter Shield. Now, they decided to put this into the Explorer Anthology, despite having, from Innistrad, a very reasonable card. The issue is I don't remember exactly what it is, but it costs 0, so it's relatively easy to have. In Big Fat Goose Egg, it was in one of the Shadows over Innistrad, or something Moon, Eldritch Moon. I think it was Eldritch Moon. Yeah. Cathar Shield. I wonder, could anyone in the class point to the difference between Cathar Shield a 0-mana artifact equipment that gives plus O plus 3 and vigilance and equips for 3. Can anyone find me a difference between this card and this card? I can see 2 differences that matter. 1, the name. It's called a quarter shield, and not Cathar shield. 2, the set symbol. Now, we just talked about this card not being in the Innistrad Remastered set. This, also not in the Remastered set. Now, why didn't Wizards print this in the Master set and then use this slot for literally anything else? That is a question I'm asking you, because I would like to know. Because this is a waste of a slot. Now, I understand that people like SRAM, right? People like SRAM. People play SRAM from time to time. The answer is money? Yeah. And I know this isn't Pioneer legal, but if you're going to give us garbage, at least let me make Cheerios in Historic. This card's inclusion is a slap in the face. Now let's go here. There are 19 cards in this anthology. That'd look about right. 5, 7, 13, 14. No, that's not right. What the fuck are you missing? Yeah, whatever. We have some number of cards. Yeah, whatever. They're 25. They're 25. I can do 1 20th. I can't do 1 25th though. It's 4%. 4% of this garbage. It's not just 4% though. Wizards decided they wanted to add more lands to Arena. You know what? That's fine. It's cool, that's fine. 2 problems with it. This entire cycle could have counted as 1 slot. And here's why. Here's why it could have and should have counted as 1 slot. They're the same card. This is not extra programming. Sure, you have to upload the assets, right? You have to make sure that the cards are, like, framed right. These are the same card. Each of these cards is the same. It has a check for some stuff. That's it. These cards should not take up all of the slots. These should be counted by Wizards as 1 slot. If we had 10 cards and 5 of them were these lands, Wizards should tell us we're getting 6 cards. 1 card is a cycle. An entire cycle. That's the slot. There's another cycle. 2 of these cards are playable. You know, 2 of these cards are good. 1 of these cards is playable. 2 of them are trash. I'll let you decide which is which. But again, these cards should have counted as a single slot. Now, I will admit, these are different than these, right? Simic Charm is different from Golgari Charm. However, there are already charms in the client. There are already more complicated cards in the commands, which require you to choose 2 in the client. These should count as one slot, first of all. Second of all, why is this half of a cycle? Where's Rakdos Charm? Azorius Charm? Right? No, where are those charms? I'd like to find out. Hopping back to the lands. Can anyone notice what color the symbol is? It's gold. There are 2 ways you can get anthologies. You can buy the set, or you can craft them with wildcards. These coming to Arena do not need, and I've said this before, do not need to be rare. In my opinion, you can keep rare lands, dual lands, in physical product as rare. I think that's fine. But on Arena, where you can't resell your cards, no fucking dual land should be more than an uncommon. Put an asterisk there. I'm not going to talk about the asterisk like I usually do. Whatever. so that if people want to not spend all of their gems on the whole set, if they just want some lands, they can craft the lands without using the rares. Wizards, stop this. So we've talked about the biggest offender, right? The worst offender. This is nonsense. We've talked about a lack of combo cards, right? We've talked about dumb cycles using things up. Let's talk about cards that are reasonable, but just don't see play in Pioneer. Hey, look, it's Judge Familiar. It's my baby. I love Judge Familiar. I played Judge Familiar in Modern Death and Taxes before we started getting better 1-drops. It's a reasonable card. I like this card. I would play this card. And in fact, I might play it. I might make a weird, like, flying Death and Taxes deck, because there are a lot of Death and Taxes cards that are flying. Not right now. I don't know what you're doing, Laser. Obzedat is another card. I love Obzedat Ghost Council. I've played this card in Standard alongside Voice of Resurgence. I'm going to put a deck with these in it together. But this isn't played in Pioneer. It's a fine card. It's just not played. I don't know if Cyclonic Rift is played. This feels like a card that they're just throwing in Historic Brawl. I hate this card. I don't like looking at it. But you know they have some good picks. But some good picks is not what you need in a product whose goal is to get you to Pioneer. If the goal was, let's add some fun cards, sure, I'll take it. It has the Quarter Shield thing is still like egregious, even if it's that. But if that's the case, I wouldn't care as much about the cards that are included. Transitioning to Historic, where the point of Historic is not to have a specific format arena. It's literally, let's throw in some fun cards, right? Throw in some fun cards. These cards are just way better. because the Explorer Anthology has a goal, has an option. Nice. Has a reason for existence. I don't know why I said option. Has a reason for existing. The Historic Anthology really is just, play with some fun cards, right? That's just what it is. So we're getting things like Vendilion Click, or Clique, whatever. Cool, sure. Some elf stuff. Acidic Slime, not played all that much, but it's still a fun card. Not only in his Commander, but I'm sure this could be in some Brawl decks. Historic, maybe there's some nonsense that wants to play this. Tooth and Nail, again, it's more of a Brawl thing, but at this point, I've kind of linked Historic and Historic Brawl together when it comes to products for it, just because that's what Wizards seems to be doing. Tribal Flames, super interesting decision to put in here. Like, with Wild Nikado, like, we could legitimately see what's it called? A Damp Naya? Dank Naya, I think, because it's blue and black. We could see a Dank Naya deck that uses Wild Nikado, Tribal Flames. There's already a 2-drop on here that cares about your lands, if I recall correctly, right? We're getting things like freaking Unearth. This is just a good card. It cycles, it reanimates things. Sure, it has to be 3 or less, but like that's fine. Like it's good. Repeal is playable. Mortar Pod is a weird inclusion, but again, the reason it's fine for the Historic choice is because Historic doesn't have a goal. It's just the goal is just to play. Explorer's goal, as stated by Wizards, is to be a bridge to a thing that is tangible, that you can look at. Right now, we can see the Pioneer metagame. And I'm not saying that every card in the Explorer Anthology needs to be played as like a 4 of in the top 5 decks, right? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you need to be able to fucking, like, the cards, they need to be used in some capacity, right? We're getting Bloodghast. That's awesome. We're getting Giver of Runes. I get to put this in my Death and Taxes deck. I'm so excited to play Giver of Runes in my Death and Taxes deck. This is insanely good for the one of the decks I love playing the most. If it was only this, I'd be happy. We're getting Bloodbraid Elf. We're getting Sword of Fire and Ice. Echoing Decay is a weird card. Can't even see it. Well, I'm gonna look at the things. Echoing Decay is a weird card. We're still getting it, and it's still fine. Like, all of these cards are reasonable. We do have some issues. The Titans. I still say that these should be counted as one slot. These are, like, this is the most egregious right here. Specifically this one, right? This one is less egregious, and I'll get to that in a moment. This is the most egregious, by far. These should have been one slot and uncommon. Followed by this, mostly because this should have been one slot, and many of these cards just aren't good. These cards are good, and they're all reasonable. The blue one's the worst, but, you know, for what it's worth, they're all reasonable. Should have taken up one slot. They should not have been mythic. They shouldn't have. Have they ever been printed at not mythic? Doesn't look like it. No, they've always been printed at mythic. That might be why they chose to go that route. I'm not sure. That might be why they chose to go that route. But again, like, it's Arena. Like, it's not paper Magic. These could have all been rares. But even then, it's not as bad. The fact that these take up 5 slots is not as bad. The fact that these are mythic and not rare is not as bad. Because again, Historic doesn't have a direct, tangible goal. Explorer does, which makes this awful. And we'll talk about these, right? This is the Horizon Canopy things. Do we even have Horizon? We don't have the Allied ones, right? I don't think we have the Allied ones. Why is this not all of them? And again, these are the exact same cards. These are the same things. We should have had all of them. They should have taken one slot. But you'll notice how different my attitude is towards the Historic Anthology from the Explorer Anthology. And I play Historic, right? Allied ones don't exist except Horizon Canopy. Oh, I thought they printed the Allied ones. I thought they printed them after they printed these, but I guess not. But we don't have Horizon Canopy on Arena, right? How hard would it have been to just add that as well? I guess maybe it would be too unfair for the colors, but again, Wizards doesn't care about colors. Especially considering there's 2 white cards here. There are no mono white cards here. No mono black cards. 1 mono blue card, right? Like, but again, like, I play Historic. I'm more invested in Historic, and as such, it would be more likely that I'm upset by bad inclusions in a Historic Anthology. And again, not all of these are fantastic, right? Frost Titan, we don't need any of the Titans. Like, maybe Primetime. I could maybe see Inferno Titan somewhere in Historic, but Primetime's the one I think would be in actual Historic the most. Bloodbraid Elf should see play. Like, Acidic Slime, probably not going to end up seeing Historic play. Mortar Pod, again, probably not. Even Worn Power Stone, I don't think so. Like, a lot of these choices do feel like, especially like Tooth and Nail, like, a lot of these choices feel like, oh, these are for Historic Brawl, right? But I'm more upset about the Explorer Anthology, despite not caring about Explorer all that much, and definitely not caring about Pioneer, right? I do not follow Pioneer, like, at all. But I'm upset because even though I am not going to be as personally affected by these choices, people are. And I cannot play this game without people. Excuse me, I cannot play this game and have fun without other people. Because Wizards doesn't know how to do solo content anymore. Ever heard of Duels of the Planeswalkers? I'm too riled up. I'm off course here. The Explorer Anthology is bad. If I'm looking at this, for what it's worth, from a perspective of someone who doesn't know Pioneer ins and outs, right? I'm going to assume, based on what I heard, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 or 8. 7 or 8 of these cards. Of the 25 cards. I should say, you know, of these slots. 8 or 9. Because again, the land should have been 1 slot. 8 or 9 of these cards are worthwhile in this Explorer's anthology. The rest of them should have been something else. Should have been cards that are more played. That, even if it's just, again, like, you know, I looked at the top 10, right? Even if it's things down here, right? Let's look over here. We got some stuff. Boars, goblins. I don't even care. Like, I don't care what they are, but just like any of them. Okay, any of them. Boars, goblins is a thing apparently. Although it looks like we have all of the goblins. Do we have all of the ancestors? We might. We definitely have most of these. Yeah, like, that's, I think that's the worst part. Right, I think that's the worst part, is that it wouldn't be hard to have Pioneer on Arena. Like, at all. Nivtalite. That's the deck I think I was thinking of. Where's this card from? Is this card on Arena? Historic Legal. Oh, it is. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. Where are you? Bring to Light. Bring to Light is a card. That is, not being added, despite the fact that Nivtalite is a relatively popular deck. So many of these decks have most of the cards. And I think, honestly, Wizards is doing stuff like this, especially, like, I can forgive some stuff. This is unacceptable. This is a slap in the face. 1000%. This is a slap in the face. Wizards is spitting on us with this. Wizards could have Pioneer on Arena. So fast. So easily. But then they can't sell us any more Explorer Anthologies. But you know what you could sell us, Wizards? Once you have Pioneer on Arena, all of the new cards that are coming in are going to immediately go into Pioneer. You can still give us more Pioneer playable cards that aren't like the main things that you added to have Pioneer, right? Some of the super fringe ones. You can throw those in Historic Anthologies. If they're playable in Pioneer, they're probably going to be fine in Historic. Even if they're not great, even if they're Mortarpod levels. That's okay, because Historic doesn't have a goal. But you know what you could sell us, Wizards? You could start selling us Commander Anthologies. Because the Commander decks, the Commander sets, every Commander card could be on Arena. And you know a great way to do that? Implement 4-player games of Brawl. Slowly turn into Commander by including Commander Anthologies. Wow, look at that. You add some Commander staples. You add some fringe Commander playables. Shouldn't all be staples, because Commander's a huge format, and I don't want to see same all the time. And you add a variety, most importantly, you add a variety of legendary creatures that aren't on Arena. In fact, you could just add the legendary creatures for a while. And boom, you're making money. Because, as I believe, as Wizards has said, EDH is the most played format of Magic the Gathering at this point. That is an easy way for you to make money. But I feel like they're holding on to Explorer Anthologies to sell them when they don't need to. They really, really don't. I'm going to enjoy this Historic Anthology. I'm going to get the Explorer Anthology because it has cards that I want to play. Namely, it has Golgari Charm, which I might not even end up playing. Voice of Resurgence, Obsidat, and Deathrite Shaman. Deathrite Shaman, I'm probably not going to end up playing for long, because Deathrite Shaman, not as good without the effect lands. But Voice of Resurgence and Ghost Council, I have played in decks before. I'm essentially going to recreate that deck, and I'm going to have fun doing it. I don't know if it's going to be good. It probably won't be. But I'm going to have fun because I'm going to be playing those cards in Historic. But the people who are playing Explorer aren't getting what they want here. And the Magic, you got to remember, Magic, not every set is for everyone. This is for Explorer players, and it's a smack in the face. I am incredibly disappointed by this anthology. I don't play the format, and I'm upset for other people. Again, some of these cards are very interesting. You know, Abbott, you got some prowess stuff. Shrapnel Blast is a cool way to kill people, I guess. I don't. You know, Worldspine Worm and Xenagos. Xenagos is not in here. You got Worldspine Worm and Xenagos, right? You have cards in here that do things. Like Izzet Sharp is not terrible. This card isn't good. This card also not great. Deathrite Shaman is not fantastic in a format without things. I assume Deathrite Shaman is straight up just not played. I don't think it would be in Greasefang. Where might it be? I just don't think Deathrite Shaman is in anything. Do you have all of these cards? I don't know why I'm asking. I have no idea. Okay, we do have creativity. Sure. Like, just like going through these, right? It really shows how easy it would be for Wizards to just have these cards, or have the entirety of Pioneer, like the main Pioneer decks on Arena. It wouldn't be hard, but they're doing this. They're doing this instead. Historic Anthology. I can't wait to put Sun Titan in a Brawl deck. For Dealing Click, I'm gonna hate this card, but I hate blue flash cards. But I'm still happy that people who like blue flash got this card. I love zombies. I love Grave Titan. Cool. Tribal Flames? That... I'm afraid of 5-color Zoo, of Rainbow Zoo. I still like the card. I'm going to die to this card probably, but I like it. Wild Mikado? This card was pre-banned in Modern from what I recall. That's how cool this card is. Bloodbraid Elf. Everyone knows BBE. This is a Jund staple. Jund, baby! The Sword of Fire Knight's probably not actually going to see play. Maybe you play it in Hammer Time. I don't know. And then, of course, a bunch of stuff is taken up by lands. But, I mean, again, Giver of Runes, I'm going to love. Bloodghast. Unearth is giving a little bit more power even to the Greasefang decks. Because now you don't need to have the creature out, the priest lady. You don't need to have her out for a turn. You can essentially just have Unearth and stuff. Do you remember the one from Dominar United? Because I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Kabu's better. Yeah, I never remember. Oh wait, Kabu, legal, historic. This one. Yeah, territorial Kabu. MH2? No, well. Still need a legal arena. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, man. Ah, this one. Yeah. But yeah, no, like the making of a tribal zoo deck is there. Tribal Flames Zoo is there. And that's cool. I'm horribly afraid of it, but it's awesome. Now, it's not as strong because you don't have fetch lands, so you can't, like, fetch to get the exact, like, lands you need to make everything perfect, but still, it's cool. I'm totally fine with this whole historic anthology. Even the cards that I'm going to hate playing against, like Vendilion Click. I hate this card. I don't want to deal with this. I don't like Flash. Simic Flash decks annoy me. Shut up. But I have people in the community who love to play blue tempo decks. Are they scum? Yes. But they deserve the right to play the scum decks. I play Death and Taxes. That's one step away from stacks. I understand the enjoyment sometimes of playing decks that people hate. I understand this. Historic Anthology. Thumbs up. Oh, it's you, Uber? Okay, well, I didn't remember who it was. Historic Anthology. Thumbs up. I really like this one. Again, the cycles, the 2 cycles in here, I feel like should only take up a single slot, especially if they're lands. And I do think those lands should have a lower rarity, but you know that's whatever, I suppose. The Explorer Anthology is 2 thumbs down. Absolutely 2 thumbs down. I have nothing, honestly. I have nothing. And again, a lot of this is just from like reading the community response. And for what it's worth, I recognize that the people who post on Reddit, the people who post to Twitter talking about these things are not a huge majority of people. However, at the very least, these people play the format. Because they're talking about in Pioneer decks I have no knowledge about. And if they're upset with this, to the extent that I've seen, that means the average person, right, the person who isn't posting, is going to still be upset. Not as much, most likely. But this is ridiculous. I can't get over the fact that Gruul Charm and Orzhov Charm are in here. I can give a pass to Simic Charm. Izzet Charm and Golgari Charm are like usable cards. I do not understand those charm inclusions. I absolutely do not understand. The Accord Shield is just disgusting. Let me play Omnath Tribal. Yeah, I mean, like, that would be cool. Like, the thing is, like, Omnath Locus of Rage, I don't know if it's in, like, I doubt it's in Gruul mid-range. No, I did not think it would be. Right? I don't think Omnath Locus of, what is it, Rage? Of Rage is probably played in Pioneer. Are we still in the video? Yes. The video will be almost done soon. You know, it's probably not played anywhere. At least not that high up. This could have gone in the Historic Anthology. And this slot could have been taken by something else. Same with Deathrite Shaman. Same with... Well, Voice is fine. Maybe. I don't know. It's depressing. That's what I'll say. I don't play the format, and it's depressing. It saddens me when Wizards will say, on the one hand, not every release is for every player. The players who this release is for, whom this release is for, don't like this product. It's for them. And it's bad. Right? This isn't just this product isn't for you. This product is for the people who play Explorer, who want Pioneer and Arena, and it is bad. And I think that's where we're going to end the video. I'm still streaming. For those of you who are just watching me on YouTube, I stream Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday on Twitch. I have not played Magic Arena on any sort of camera in a while because I've not been enjoying it. Because Wizards has continually made bad decisions and decisions that aren't player positive. It's very frustrating. Even if I'm playing, you know, against like playing decks I like against decks that I don't hate playing against. Even when I'm losing, right? All of that doesn't matter if in the back of my mind, it's not even in the back of my mind, right? In the mid of my mind, I'm thinking Wizards is just not doing this game justice, right? It's very difficult for me to get past that and enjoy my time playing Magic, at least on Arena. I still play EDH with my friends because it's fun, but it's not for me, dog. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this random video. I am taking medicine for my ADHD now. It's possible that I'll start uploading again. Do not quote me on that. Do not quote me on that. But hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out my Twitch, which is linked in the description. My descriptions are the best on YouTube. I will take that to the grave. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Peace.